Okay, so today we're going to talk about how Nacho's plan actually worked. And if you're somewhat of a novice to Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul history, we're going to briefly get you caught up. And you'll notice that everybody in this scene dies as an indirect result of Nacho's plan. Now, in case you didn't know, Hector wants to turn Nacho's father's shop into a front for his organization. Now, Nacho's father is pretty much a straight and narrow type of guy, and he wants nothing to do with Nacho's criminal activity.
Hector wants to use my dad's business. My dad is a straight arrow. He won't stand for it, which means he goes to the police, which means he's a dead man. And that's not happening.
Hector notices this immediately and doesn't trust Nacho's father. But if you know anything about Nacho, you know he'll do anything to protect his family, especially his father. And he decides he's going to kill Hector by using his own prescription bottle to poison him. Now, Mike finds out about Nacho's plan and tries to talk him out of it.
I need to know what you're planning.
What's the matter to you?
I know they're for Salamanca, nitro pills. Your boss has heart problems.
Now, as much as he tried to talk him out of it, he convinces him that if you do switch the pills, you're going to have to switch them back so that you don't get caught.
Now, if you manage to pull this off without a bullet in your head and switch those pills, then switch them back.
Switched him back. Why?
Anyone gets an itch about the medicine not working, they're going to look at those pills. You do this, switch them back.
Now, Nacho's plan is first put into place in Season 3, Episode 8 of Better Call Saul on an episode entitled The Slip. Nacho spent the first half of this episode loading the empty pill capsules that he purchased with sugar. Then after this, he sets himself up doing practice drills to make sure he can get the drop right. And as you can see, there were several failed attempts in his practice run, and he can't even make a single mistake when it's time to execute. When Nacho sees his opportunity, he fakes like one of the bills that he's counting. And now that Nacho has the bottle, the next step is to switch the real pills with the fake pills without getting caught. All of this leads up to the moment of truth, and he only gets one shot at it. This scene right here is the most important scene of all Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul continuity. This one scene right here, if this doesn't take place, it changes the future of nearly everybody on both television shows. The results of which that could have caused a chain reaction that could have destroyed the entire universe.
Granted, that's a worst-case scenario.
All right, so now we're going to break this down piece by piece and show how Lalo's plan was a success. The mix-up with the pills not only causes Hector to have a heart attack, but a stroke. And he would have died. But who ends up saving him? The guy who hates him more than anybody. And we find out later on that the reason he did this is because he had some type of freaky, slow death revenge fetish, calculating everything out to the maximum amount of suffering. It's weird. But what this does is it gives Lalo the perfect opportunity to switch the pills back without anybody finding out about the slip. And Hector goes on to become the drooling, snarling, farting, bell-ringing former cartel boss that everybody loves to hate. If this doesn't happen, Hector would have most likely continued to try to muscle his way into the chicken truck business. And if he does this, he would have most likely killed Gus and then overthrown Don Eladio to completely take over. This means he would have also had to take over Gus's infrastructure. It means that Gail, who would have already been working at the super lab, would now belong to the cartel, producing a 96% grade meth. This also means that if Tuco would have been selling a higher grade meth as a distributor for his uncle, he would have become the new Heisenberg. Mike already had bad blood with the Salamancas, so he would have most likely been killed, or at the very least he could have been a low-level enforcer on the state side for the cartel. And they probably would have paid him a whole lot less by threatening him with his granddaughter's safety. The only real problem I could see with Hector taking over would have been Lydia. She's neurotic and impulsive, and she would have turned the whole organization upside down. The twins would have had no reason to come to America to kill Hank and Walter, so they probably would have survived. If they would have had any reason to come stateside, it would have been to kill Gus's men. Juan Bosa would have already been dead as a casualty of the Hector takeover. I don't think the two ever really liked each other. If all this takes place, that means Walter and Jesse would have never reconnected, and I'm gonna tell you why. Jesse would have most likely been locked up, seeing as he was working with Emilio and Crazy 8. And we also found out later that Crazy 8 was working with the DEA. This would have made Jesse just collateral damage in another drug raid. And I know it's far-fetched, but it's also a possibility that Walter could have repaired his relationship with Gretchen and Ellie, seeing as how they didn't know he had cancer until he was already knee-deep in criminal activity. But who knows, somewhere in an alternate universe somewhere, maybe Walt and Jesse are making money together legally. But that's all, man. If y'all have any other theories about what could have took place as a result of the slip happening or not happening, leave your thoughts in your comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be doing more theories on Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and other TV shows in the future. Thanks for watching.